Right then everyone, so today's video is going to be a lot darker in theme than everything else that I put out prior, so if you don't think you can handle that, or you just don't want to deal with that right now, and you maybe want to save it for later, I would advise you do that, okay? Because, while we are still talking about a bit of drama on this channel, this drama is less funny, haha, he said a slur drama, more they committed an actual crime drama. And if you don't know what I mean, then stick around, because I'll be getting into it. But while I have you, before we get started today, I do want to just remind you to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. A lot of people just tend to forget to do that at the end of videos, and I want to negate that from happening, because, I want you. I'm kidding. But yeah, remember to do that. And without further ado, let's pop into today's video. Oh, also, I do just want to mention, if you saw my community post about a week ago now, I did say that I tried recording this video about a week ago. God. I tried recording this about a week ago, but unfortunately both the camera's audio and my lavalier microphone just didn't record any audio, so I had to scrap the video. So I do actually know what we're going to be talking about going into today's video. I know typically on my channel what we do is we watch it live, so you get my raw reaction to things, but one, can't do that anymore because obviously failed to record this once before, but also two, with a situation like this one, and I want to make this clear for like whenever I cover something like this in the future, I'm probably just gonna watch it through to understand the full situation to begin with anyway, because this is the type of situation that it's kind of important you know what you're talking about, you know? But in case you don't know what happened, allow me to actually just explain. So, there was this group of 3 Twitch streamers, right? Some very well-known Twitch streamers that go by the name of, Valkyrie, Sinner, and Emiru. Listen, I promise you that they are actually well known. I'm not just saying that for the bit. I just don't watch these people. Promise you that they do have a fan base. But these group of 3 Twitch streamers, Valkyrie, Sinner, and Emiru, were doing this thing called a Sis-athon, which in my circles on Twitter means something different. But what they meant it to mean was that they were doing like this girls only live stream saga, I guess. You know those live streams where you put them on and then you never turn them off until like people stop donating? I think they're called sub-athons. I'm like 90% sure it was one of those, just with only female Twitch streamers. But part of this live stream involved them actually going around and living their lives. Believe it or not, when Twitch streamers do these 24/7 live streams, they don't just stay in their room, they would starve. But they went out to a fairground to have a bit of fun, to get good content obviously, but also just to kind of live their lives and hang out, because anyone can tell you that people that do YouTube and Twitch as a job, unless like you turn what you're doing into content, it really does feel like you can't live your life without wasting your time. I mean, I'm not even a big YouTuber or Twitch streamer for that matter, and I get that same feeling when I'm not working on videos. I had to wait a week to film this. I missed one upload. I do one video a week. I missed one upload and I felt like I was going to lose everything I'd built. All 128 of you, I felt I was gonna lose. And you want to know what made that worse? One of you did unsubscribe during this 7-day period where I couldn't film, because I had 128. No, 9. I had 129. So whichever one of you that was, you. I'm kidding. But to bring the tone down a bit from this jovial nature, because what happened was actually very disturbing and upsetting, unfortunately they were ambushed and attacked when they went out to do this live stream. I've got the footage here. I'm gonna pull it up now. I've already seen it, so I'm not gonna do a live reaction. And also, I mean, it might not be, but it feels a little distasteful to do a live reaction to somebody being threatened to be stabbed. So I'm gonna let it play so that you get the full context of what we've got, and then I'm gonna talk about it. So can we pull up that footage now, please?
Yes, please.
Oh God.
Oh God, yes, I didn't see it. Can I sing for a change? A change for the better, as you would say?
Okay.
And the change would be for her number.
Oh.
If you like it, can I get your number?
I don't have a phone. I'm sorry.
Wait, put your number in mine.
I don't know how to use a phone. I'm sorry.
Wait, so I'm gonna keep following her.
Huh?
I'm gonna keep following her.
God, another one! I go! You're gonna have to get in line. There's too many stalkers.
That's not how you really
Fuck,
riz.
bro, what the fuck?
That's not the riz.
Get behind me! Okay. Oh my god.
Kendrick,
Wait, are we getting churros?
Kendrick, add it into the list.
Thanks for coming in, lady.
Thank you so much.
See you tomorrow, and take care.
Wait, can we get churros or no? Yes, right here. Oh. You can also get them from the vendors. Ooh, it might be better with the vendors. I didn't see any churro vendors though. Did you? There is one. You need, yeah. Do you want some sunglasses? Do you like these? Incognito time. Stand behind me. I don't like. I'm gonna keep following her.
Yeah.
Where's your little Glock? I mean the lighter.
I'll beat him if I have to.
Forgot we're in public.
No, I'll beat him.
I mean, that's good. I think we're just gonna go.
Let's go. Oh, no, we're not.
Hey, excuse me? No! Security? Emily, no. Hey, stop! Whoa.
Let's fucking fight right now.
What?
Right.
Get away from now.
Hey, what's going on?
Security! You harassing us?
What's going on? What's going on, man?
Right now.
Ah!
Kill you right now.
Fuck off.
Kill you right now.
Security, please! Security! Is someone threatening to kill us? Him. Security, guys, I got it. Can you let us inside?
Yeah, absolutely abhorrent. When I first tried to film this, I went on a tangent that lasted 12 minutes, I checked, just calling this person a piece of lowlife, that society has failed, and that he is in turn someone who has failed society. But I feel like I don't need to explain that to you. A lot of common sense does need to be explained these days, but if you see these actions and you are somehow siding with him or making concessions for him, then you are part of the problem. And I mean that in the most sincere way possible. This man asked twice for her number. You know, he shot his shot once, whatever. You know, a little weird, but I mean, hey, take your shot. She declines you politely, right? The gracious thing to do is bow out, because yeah, you didn't get what you wanted, but ultimately you weren't gonna f***ing get what you wanted anyway. Picking people up, like asking for numbers, that shit just doesn't exist in our generation at all, and it hasn't for a long time. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad it doesn't, because one, it's just puts a lot of pressure on me to get people's numbers, and I don't like doing that. But also just like, if you think about it from the other person's point of view, you're just putting someone into an incredibly awkward situation where they're more than likely going to have to decline a random stranger asking for their number, which is just a really scary thing to do anyway, especially now when, you know, shit like this happens. And I say now, obviously, but this type of shit has happened forever. This has always been a response to this, clearly, because this isn't something that just crops up overnight. But then he asks again. Brother, you got your no. What, do you think the answer's going to be different the second time? No. And just to clarify, in case you think my answer's going to be different the second time, also no. But whatever. He gets rejected twice, and he seems to take it gracefully, albeit obviously he's a little sad, because this little manlet didn't get what he wanted. Not to judge, but considering your personality and everything we've seen of you, I'm not surprised. I'd be more surprised if anyone ever said yes, and I'd be even more surprised if someone had said yes and then stayed with you for longer than maybe a few hours. You seem very unlikable, to put it mildly. I'd use stronger words about what I think of you as a person, but the last time I tried that, my video got taken down. So just know that in my heart, the hatred I hold for you could power all of China. But either way, they walk off, right? Maybe 5 minutes later, I think it was a very short amount of time, he comes back. He runs up on them and then starts threatening them, shouting that I'm going to kill you, and intentionally trying to spook them, scare them. Honestly, I have no idea what he was trying to do, and neither did they. I mean, that's why this situation is so scary. Honestly, that's like the most terrifying thing that could have happened. That is the worst case scenario of things that could have happened, after that point. Like, that's always the fear, isn't it? Ladies, I'm talking to you now because God knows men don't have this fear. Obviously, there's certain allowances that can be made for that sentence, but it's mostly correct. That's the common fear, isn't it? When someone comes up to you and asks for your number and you obviously don't want to give it out, or you do and it's a fake one, your biggest fear is that they're either going to find out the number's fake or they're going to chase after you after you've said no and then do something horrible to you. I'm saying do something horrible, but we all know what I'm talking about. So the fact that that actually happened, the worst case scenario, is horrible. And I feel so bad for these people that have had to go through that. It's because ultimately, what can you do? You can't call the police. They won't fucking do anything. It's been proven time and time again that they don't give a shit about these things happening. You can't fight back, because if you fight back you risk injuring yourself, and also you could also potentially be charged if you accidentally fight back a widow too much. We know he said he was gonna kill you, but you really hurt him and his feelings. You left a bruise and he's gonna die, so jail. Jail. That is actually what the police are like. Obviously, a little satire thrown in there, but the satire is probably in the fact that they can actually form a f***ing sentence. So obviously in the video you see it does cut off towards the end, but before it cuts off, they do, you know, they form a bit of a defensive line, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. You can hear them call out, "No, don't," because one of them goes off to, like, actually confront him and say, you know, "What's up?" while the others get the victim out of there, which is smart and sensible. But we'll get to this in a second. Apparently that's not where the whole confrontation ended. He didn't just wander off, right? But again, before we get to that point, I do want to read out a couple of tweets that the people involved and the people surrounding this situation put out after it happened, just again to give you the full scope of what's going on. So the first tweet we have here is from Sinner herself. So they say, "Hey everyone, we are safe. Unfortunately, we have to end the marathon and need time to process what happened, as we shock at the moment. Thank you for all the love and support on the marathon. We love you all." So again, this was immediately in the aftermath of what happened, and you can tell as well from the amount of spelling mistakes and like lack of punctuation here. I don't bring that up as a criticism. I realized as I was saying it, that's how it sounded. I'm pointing it out because it goes to show just how affected by it all they were, to the point where they can't even type properly. You know, phones have autocorrect. This shit doesn't get missed. You know, the fact that they were able to fuck it up so badly that autocorrect didn't catch them, they must have been terrified. We also have someone here, they're not involved in the situation, but their tweet did blow up at the time of the situation happening, mainly because they were actually, as far as I'm aware, one of the first to identify who the attacker was. So we've got two pictures here. This was obviously, you can tell, right, from the comparison and then from the video that it is the same person, but at the time it was live, people were still discovering what was going on. It could have just been a random, but this was basically the biggest bit of confirmation we had, linking together that it was this creepy little manlet that had run up on them after being rejected. You can see he even changed clothes, which I find to be, it's hard to classify, because on the one hand, he could have just been cold. You know, he could have just had a hoodie and decided, you know what, I'm going to be a menace, I'll put it on to hide my identity, which worked out great considering the only time he's on camera is when the camera's pointed directly at his face. But also, you just don't know. Someone this psychopathic could very well have been planning to do this to someone else. He could have done it to someone else that night, and it could have just been, as mean as it is to say, they could have just gotten lucky that they caught him on camera. And obviously I say mean as it is to say because ideally this never would have happened at all, but I'm almost thankful it happened on camera, so that we do have documentation of what he looks like. I don't think he's been identified yet, but I know Twitter is still trying. And personally, I'm hoping that they succeed. I want this man's life ruined. I want him to never be able to show his face again without getting double as back as much as he put out, because people like this, they don't learn. Obviously they don't learn. They've had years and years to grow up and learn, hey, you don't run up on someone that denied you something and threatened to kill them, and the message still didn't get through. So I think maybe we need to be a little more strict and severe about the way we teach these people a lesson. That's all. YouTube doesn't need to take down this video. And now, of course, onto the next tweet. We have this one from QT Cinderella. If you don't know who QT Cinderella is, another Twitch streamer in the same sort of, like, social circles, I do believe. If you don't know her by name, don't know her by, you know, watching her content, the most recent drama I remember her being involved in was, unfortunately, when a male Twitch streamer, a co-worker of hers, was exposed for watching deep fake stuff of her. He had the tab open on live stream, just freeballing it. I'm almost impressed at the audacity, if I'm not disgusted at just how vile of a person you have to be to do that. But moving on, because this isn't about that, she says, the worst part is now you go to the police and they won't do anything. You try to file a report, they tell you to do it online. You do it online and they reject it. Rinse and repeat. There is no help. It's terrifying. My heart goes out to everyone involved. And yeah, she's completely right. The police are useless. I'm not sure if she went to the police regarding the whole deepfake situation and they refused to help her or not. I'm not sure if that's where it's coming from or if it's just a general sentiment that she's gained from all these years she's been online and had to deal with people like this. But I know from personal anecdote, I've had a friend that's gone through something similar, if not worse, in the outcome, and the police did nothing about it. In fact, the person that did it still has their job, which is unfortunate. I would say more, but it's not my story to tell, and, you know, I don't want to expose this if it's not something that they want. Yeah, she's completely right, and I mean, if you want proof, just look at the police's response to this incident. There isn't one. There's been no involvement at all. When they have his face, if they were able to get Luigi Mangione, then they should have been able to get this guy. But they haven't, because, oh, it's just a woman being attacked. And that's the sad truth of our reality. Moving on, we do have a tweet from Valkyrie herself, who says, we're all okay, and have been with the police. We decided we're done with the marathon and need time to process. Thank you for all the love and support this past week. We had so much fun and hope you enjoyed. And isn't that just a bitch? Isn't that just a bitch? This great thing ruined by one person. This is why we can't have nice things, because dumbasses like this exist. Seriously though, how do you fuck up as a person developing so badly that you end up becoming this? It's impressive how many stopgaps have to have failed for you to turn out like this. Your parents, your teachers, your friends, your co-workers, for God's sake. None of them were effective stopgaps against becoming this type of person. It's baffling. And before anyone tries to twist my words, I'm certainly not saying that in sympathy of this man. If all of these institutions failed him, he should have gone out of his way to improve himself. Yeah, and easier said than done? I don't care. I don't care. Everyone is capable of it. I don't care. This next tweet also comes from Valkyrie, and admittedly, I am still missing the context of this. I've not seen what she's talking about, but apparently there was a big enough wave of people trying to blame it on their employees and their cameraman and stuff like that, which is wild in and of itself because I mean, I don't even know if they had a cameraman, but it's nobody's responsibility to be able to try and prevent this. If you know what I mean. Like, when it happens, don't get me wrong, everyone step the fuck in. But you shouldn't have to prepare to be assaulted and threatened and ran down going to a fucking carnival just because someone came up to you and asked for your number. Not only is that just completely impractical and downright ludicrous, it's also incredibly victim-blamey in nature, and that doesn't sit right with me. And it shouldn't sit right with any of you. But she says, honestly, all of you for blaming our employees for not doing enough. Our team worked so hard to help us with this marathon and did their best for being put on the spot. No means no. You're not entitled to anybody. The fact that this man threatened our lives after being rejected while we were in a group, in public and on live stream, just shows the harsh reality women live in. This happens off camera to women all the time. Seeing accounts that have harassed us for a 10-second clip of downtime during a 24/7 marathon, accusing us of just begging for subs, women do nothing, to then farming engagement from this stalker situation while we IRL stream has been so sad to see. Seeing accounts accusing my friends and I of faking this and blaming us instead of questioning the man's behavior has been embarrassing to see. I've learned it doesn't matter how much I accomplish in this industry or how much I try and gain respect. Some men will hate women and blame women no matter the situation. While this may be discouraging, I hope anybody reading this does not quit doing what makes them happy because of misinformation or hate. As you can see, some hate is inevitable. The clip doesn't show the rest of what happened after we cut the camera, but I feel what was shown was important to witness. I'm so relieved we are alive and will be even more cautious and safe in the future. I hope other women and streamers learn from seeing this interaction and also be aware that this can happen to anybody, anywhere. Stay safe. And as professional and as lengthy as that response is, especially for a place like Twitter, it doesn't feel like a PR statement either, which is just points to Valkyrie for being able to actually give that statement herself during a time like this, instead of having to pass it off to someone else. Because, I mean, you're already dealing with all of this extra stress. No one is going to blame you if you don't say something or stand up for your employees, but you still did. And that's honestly just really inspiring of a thing to see. Of course, Ku Klux Keemstar also jumped in on this and decided to platform someone who's so irrelevant that they had to list him by someone else's clout. I'm not gonna say their name, but I am gonna say they're a friend of Ice Poseidon, who, f***ing hell, you haven't been relevant since 2016, mate. Stay back there. We left you there for a reason. You should have just left quietly, pitted off into irrelevance like you were destined to, like a good little boy. They platformed one of his friends' claims that Valkyrie, Emiru, and Sinner actually scripted this whole thing, which, you know, it's Keemstar. What do you expect? This man has been morally bankrupt since the day he crawled out of the womb and left little burning hoof prints behind him as he did. But I'm just bringing it up to show you that, hey, you know, despite how obvious it is that this just wasn't planned, some people will still try and farm engagement by saying otherwise. Morality has just been thrown out of the window in the name of capital gain, and it's honestly disgusting to see. I'm not surprised he still has a platform, but I wish he didn't. That's all I can say. There's no point getting angry anymore. Keemstar's just inevitable. That kind of hatred is just going to be around until someone does something about it. What can you do? It's Keemstar. Just go on with your life. He's never said anything of any importance at all, and you shouldn't start believing that he has now. Of course, Pokimane also commented on the situation, saying, "I'm once again begging the police to take stalkers seriously. People shouldn't be allowed to act this way and get away with it," which is just, again, bringing attention to the situation, making people aware, trying to get more attention on what has happened so that maybe some more people can hopefully deliver some due justice. Now, one thing that didn't get brought up in those tweets, but that did get brought up in a video talking about the situation. I'm not able to find the source right now, unfortunately. I don't know if it's been taken down or removed, or if I'm just stupid. So if you must, take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, but personally I have seen it said, so I'm gonna relay it to you. But that's that the man was pretending that he had a knife. He had a hand in his pocket and he was waving it around. Let's not do that below the camera. He had a hand in his pocket and he was waving it around, trying to pretend that he had a knife, obviously making a show of it. Now, truthfully, I know so little about these content creators that I don't know if they're American-based or European-based, right? So I don't know whether it was a guarantee that, oh, he's pretending to have a knife, or if he's pretending to have a gun or whatever. My opinion on that whole thing is the fact that he never pulled it out despite being so boisterous means that he was obviously just intending to scare. The only reason he would pretend to have one and not show it is that either he doesn't have one or he wants to scare you. If he wanted to actually do something, he would have pulled it out, which is silver linings, right? Of course, though, when you say silver linings, you have to remain aware of what exactly that silver is lining. We have an example that broke just today, the story that is, of another Twitch streamer who was sadly stabbed to death by a viewer while doing an IRL stream out in the streets. Now, this happened over in Japan, so quite a distance away, but it's still incredibly haunting that a story like this would break only 8 days, just over a week after this event over here. You can see how one could very easily have become the other, right? But imagine he hadn't had a knife, he had had a gun. He had pulled the weapon, whatever it was. Things would have gone infinitely worse. People could have died. And people are still saying, oh, this was faked for attention. Oh, they're just really bad actors, you can tell. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe she shouldn't have, you know, denied giving him his number. It doesn't matter to what level people are hurt. There are some people that just refuse, unfortunately, to actually give a damn or blame the actual perpetrator instead of the victim on account of who the victim is, which is really unfortunate, and that's underselling it by millions of years of pain and suffering. I wish I could brighten your day by saying something uplifting here, but I really can't. Like I warned you at the start of today's video, this one's going to be a lot more serious. But one thing I can do to raise my own mood significantly is I've gone through Twitter and I've found a handful of people that have been doing this, that have been blaming the victim. I'm just gonna put them on screen. It's that simple. I'm just gonna put them on screen. Here are their Twitter handles. Do what you want with that information. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just providing you these sources as a trustworthy news anchor, you know, an independent journalist. I'm showing you that these claims are legitimate, you know, that these people do exist, and that unfortunately they're getting away with it. But hey, maybe that'll change. Who knows? Who knows? Unfortunately, that is where the situation ends here. I've seen nothing about this man being identified yet. I've seen no rescheduling for the Sis-athon that they were performing. Unfortunately, it seems that this situation does just stop here. But that being said, it has been my pleasure to inform you about what's gone on. It's been my pleasure to bring light to this situation, even just that little bit more. I doubt this video will have much, if any, reach, but the fact that there's just another person out there talking about this is important. It allows people that maybe can do more than I can the access to the information necessary to do more. And I hope that you've learned something too. And I hope that if maybe you were considering victim blaming in this situation, or maybe you hadn't heard the full situation, or you'd heard a biased take on it, that maybe this video has allowed you to reflect and better understand what the hell has gone on. That being said, that's it from me. Hopefully regular videos will return shortly. It was my birthday on the 10th of March. I had a lovely celebration, and though I got it a little early, a little bit off topic here, a little bit tasteless, so I apologize in advance, but I do want to talk about it. I got my first ever thirst trap. It wasn't a birthday gift, it came in a little before, but what are you lovely guys? Any the Enfield, I do believe. Yep. Lovely YouTube regular Any the Enfield, they were the one that made it for me, and honestly, I love it. It's amazing, and it made my day. So, as a personal, thank you. But yes, if you have enjoyed today's video, I'll remind you once again to like, comment, and subscribe, because likes and comments are my lifeblood, and subscriptions, honestly, they make my night. In case I don't see you, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. And remember to stay safe and check on your friends. Yeah, that's all. See you later, guys. Love you.